There.
Hey there, folks. It is Rob from Rob's Nightmares, and we got Kenny.
Hey everyone. I'm I like going by Kenny. My channel is Mr. Car Productions, KAR, and I like doing educational and informational videos or entertaining. Used to do public speaking a lot when I was a lot younger, and I've done movie reviews. I like talking about different experiences that I've had in my life. So that's basically it.
Hey, we got Matthias Juarez, I think. Hey, how's it going? Um, well, I'll put your Kenny. I will put your link in the description, so go check Kenny out. What
You,
we're making
you
this.
want me? You want me to do that here?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's up to you. I can do it when the video is over. I can edit your plug in your YouTube channel, but so yeah, guys, every weekend, I'm going to be doing a Rob's Horror Hangout stream where we basically talk about movies, horror movies, and uh, go over a certain topic. And today's topic is your very first horror movie that you ever watched, and how did it affect you? Every single weekend we're going to go over a topic, and I don't really keep my streams long. Hour and a half, maybe even two at the most is fine. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. And I was just, I'm trying to get back into streaming again. I haven't really done it myself for, I don't know, it's been a long time. But yeah, I am part of the Movie Busters with me, Alex, and Thomas and Dan. We hardly ever do shows that much anymore, so I kind of wanted to branch off and do something for myself. So I thought this would be pretty cool. So yeah, I got Kenny here. Kenny and I have known each other since 2008, 2009, somewhere around there. We are kind of the OGs of YouTube. Um, we're doing movie reviews and stuff like that when everyone else was, getting their butts wiped by baby wipes and you know milk bottles and all that stuff. In other words, we're older. So,
Mm.
um, so yeah, that's it's really cool to have him on here. Again, his channel is Mr. Car Productions. I'll put that in the description when this video goes up on YouTube there, and I can edit it. But anyway, so yeah, this is the topic. Your very first horror movie you ever watched. Matthias Juarez said the first horror film I believe I saw was It 2000. Oh wow,
The
It
recent
2000 and
one.
yeah, the recent one. Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? That's actually a good film to start with because I don't know. I like that movie. Do you like that movie, Kenny?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one, and I liked chapter two, but it felt too like too much was going on in it. I felt like the story kind of got lost, but I like that first one.
Yeah, I'm more of the Tim Curry, the TV cut
Mm.
version of It. I like that. I think more, but the 2017 one kind of it kind of blew me away with some of the stuff they showed, like when he actually bit his arm off and
Yeah,
Georgie's arm off and stuff like that. I was like, wow, I can't believe they actually did that.
yeah, how
Um,
he opened his mouth
yeah,
wide.
yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, you're right about chapter two. Chapter two was, it was a little bit of a mess, but whatever. Um, so do you want to go first on your, the first horror
Sure.
movie you ever saw?
Yeah.
Do you remember what age you were?
It may have been 3 or 4
Oh wow.
because I started watching visual media at a long time ago, and it was really to help me educate me, and also for me to be verbal because I was not a very talkative person. So I
Mhm.
think the first one I ever saw may have been Poltergeist, and
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Poltergeist. Yes.
and yeah, I was saying it wasn't. It didn't really say scare me, but it was like I was watching different uh, kind of visual uh, media. At first, I was watching visual flashcards by learning math,
Hmm.
and so Poltergeist was like another way for me to learn about different things, and it helped me understand filmmaking because that was something I was always interested in at a very early age.
Well, Poltergeist is a good
Yeah.
one. That's a you know that TV in that movie.
Hmm.
My parents had that exact. It was almost exact same. Like the ones that kind of sit. The big ones that kind of sit on the floor.
Yeah,
You didn't need a TV. What do you call that?
a
Like an entertain.
stand.
You didn't need an entertainment center or stand. It just sits. And my, when the fuzzy, what do they call that? The snow, the snow on the screen. When that would happen,
Mhm.
it's like I'd always think of Poltergeist in that way.
Right. Putting your hand up and looking back, saying they're here.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
was
But
surprised that when she did that, she didn't feel that static thing that like we used
yeah.
to.
Yeah.
It probably was on, but it probably where they um, didn't have that where she wouldn't feel that, so it
So
wouldn't hurt her.
Well, I'm curious. You said that so when you first saw Poltergeist, that was your first film, your first horror film you ever saw.
Yeah,
Did it? You said you just said that it really didn't scare you, but what about when you watch it now? Like, do you have any like different feelings about it? Like,
I still really think of not necessarily scary, but I'm more fascinated and amazed by it, how they were able to do the visual effects now,
mhm,
like as they
yeah,
that they were able to do back then, like that white creature, whatever coming out. I think it was coming out of the closet.
hmm
That, and I think it was a mom in the room, and it was trying to get at her. I think I'm thinking of it right. And then there was that creature that came out of the middle of the house. So that was really what it still it really fascinates me more than anything about how they're able to do all of that, and the acting is probably some of the best from that era to see now.
Mathis says I was 12 when I saw it, and it knocked the pants off of me and stuck with me. Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. Like when you see a horror film
Yeah.
when you're young, it's like some people say like you shouldn't show kids or you shouldn't show people who are or kids who are younger. You shouldn't show them horror films because it might give them nightmares. It might this and that. Honestly, I was really young and it didn't bother me. Maybe everyone's different, but it didn't bother me to where I was like, "Oh my god, like I cannot watch another horror film. I'm never going to sleep. I'm going to have nightmares all the time." Honestly, it just affected me differently. To me, horror was like it was like an art form. It's like drawing. It's like you draw like a really cool picture. Like for me, horror was an art form. Seeing all these different kinds of killers and like these characters, Jason, Freddy, Michael, and it. I think I just appreciate it for just what it is. I mean, the same way I appreciate action films. It's you know, uh, but I think when you're younger, you get that like uh, just that feeling of, okay, what am I watching here? It doesn't have to be gory. It could just be even scary. Like I try to think of like a scary one that I saw back then, um, that really kind of affected me. Oh, okay. The Witches, like The Witches is not considered a horror film, even though there are some horror elements in there about which, these old ladies trying to get these kids, kidnap them and kill them, turn them into mice and stomp on them and all this stuff. I think that's you would never be able to do that today with all the stuff going on in the world. But if you compare that to the new remake, Witches with Anne Hathaway, it's nothing like the original. The original is way more disturbing. Um, but to me, that just feels like a horror film because of what goes on in that film. Imagine seeing that at a young age. It really just affected me. It made me want to, if I walk down the street and I see this old lady looking at me, I'm like, oh crap, oh crap, what's she gonna do? Does she have purple eyes? Is she gonna kidnap me? Is she gonna turn me into a mouse? I don't know. That's the young kid talking in me. So, uh, I don't know. I just think it affects people differently. But I don't agree when people say, well, you shouldn't show younger kids horror films. I just think if you're going to show them something that's not going to have a lot of gore, maybe a lot of violence, just something maybe scary. Like, I think Poltergeist is actually, I mean, I don't know. I think that's a good one. Um, like you said. Is there anything else about Poltergeist that you
Well, saying that, I know.
is there anything that bothered you about Poltergeist in general?
Mm,
Like anything that stands out, like maybe something that you can't stop thinking about?
I don't know.
Maybe give
Maybe that TV element
did
is
anything give you
sometimes maybe
did
seem
anything give you nightmares about it?
not that I think of. No,
Yeah.
freaky, but not really give me nightmares. And I think that was probably the first time I saw Craig T. Nelson, and yeah, he was in the show
Coach, yeah.
Coach
Yeah.
years later,
Did
and
you used to watch Coach at all?
yeah, that was a great one. Have
Yeah.
his bumbling, not really bumbling, but his I guess assistant coach, that tall blonde
Yeah,
guy.
that guy was in The Stand, Stephen King's The Stand.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. And then they had this other older man. Oh, there was three of them. Can't remember his name. I think he passed away not too long ago. I think,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
that was a great show too.
Yeah, it's
And
one of those shows that no one ever really talks about, honestly.
no, right. Uh, but like Poltergeist, I really liked all the work that was put into it. I I think that was that. I think that was the one that was it. Toby Hooper, that director was going to be working on that or something, and then there was a bit uh, back and forth because of it between him and Steven, and then then Spielberg became the main director. I think it was that. I think it was Poltergeist, and then they
Well,
they did not enjoy really working together because of that.
I tell you, Poltergeist, like I said before, looking at one of those old school TVs, never
Mm,
like when I look at a new TV, like a flat screen, I don't feel that. You don't really feel that. It's
yeah,
like with those old TVs, it's like after watching that movie, um, that's all I think about is,
yeah, because now
uh,
TVs don't do that.
and those old school TVs were so heavy. My
Mm,
God, I remember my dad had to get like four of his neighbors to come over and try to get that thing in the house. I mean, it was, I don't know, it was like 30, it was like 36-inch, I don't know, somewhere
Yeah.
on there. But it just sat on the floor. If you tried to even
Mhm.
clean behind it, you can't. You can't do nothing. It's,
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm glad
Right.
TVs are much lighter now, but
Mhm.
hey, physical media
But
collector.
sometimes they could, depending on the size, it could take more than one person
Yeah.
to carry it.
Yeah. Well, okay, so your very first horror film that you saw was Poltergeist. So yes,
Mhm.
that is a good one. I'm going to tell you what my very first horror film was, and that is Jaws. And let me tell you, uh, this film scarred me, and I wouldn't say it gave me nightmares. It just if I walk up to an ocean, if I can't see what I'm stepping on, there's no way. I'm done. I'll just stand there. I'll stand there at the beach and just look at the ocean. I'm not going to go in it. Now, if I can see what I'm stepping on, okay, I'll go. But it's the same as like Lake Michigan. Like Lake Michigan, it's fresh water. I know there's not going to be any sharks in there, but if I still can't see what I'm stepping on, so in my mind, I'm like, you know, uh, is there going to be something that I can't see that's big? It's going to bite me. I don't know. It's just it's a fear like
Mm.
in my head, but it's because of this movie. It's because of this. It ain't because of anything else. Um, the very first scene of this is when the girl goes out in the dark. They've both been drinking. The boyfriend's on the beach and he's like, he's trying to take his clothes off and he's being an idiot. She goes out there butt naked and it's dark and she can't see anything and she's going swimming. I'm thinking to myself, number one, you're stupid going out there in the dark like that. And number two, no way in hell that like I don't even go out there in the daytime. I'm not going to go out there at night. But
When beaches, they wouldn't really allow people to be out that late, wouldn't they? Right? I thought.
usually like yeah, like beaches don't. I think they have like a sign that says when you're supposed to be out there, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but look, like this movie really didn't scare me. It just kind of like scarred me. It basically it made me not want to go in the ocean. It made me more interested in sharks. Actually, I wanted to know what all kinds of shark species that were out there. Um, you know, it was really fascinating to me. But honestly, my dad recorded this on a blank VHS tape. It was a TV cut, so all the gory scenes, the leg falling, the Quint getting bit, the kid on the raft with all the blood squirting up and stuff like that. It didn't show any of that, but I knew it was happening.
Mm.
Um, but the thing is, like, I didn't need to see all that to really see what was going on when the kid was getting drug under and the girl in the beginning, like I said, in the dark, when she gets taken under the water, you can't see the shark, but you know it's there. You can't see it. Again, mind games. But look, yeah, seeing this Jaws is a classic. It's probably one of the best horror movies ever made. And seeing that at a very, very young age, it it made me more interested in these kind of films. It didn't give me nightmares. It just scarred me as far as going out in the ocean. But it's really what got me into different kinds of genres of horror. There's slashers, there's demon possession, there's haunted houses, there's all different kinds, creature features, which is kind of like what this is. But
Mm.
it really got me into loving all genres of horror. So that I do have to think, well, I have to thank this movie for getting me into horror, but also not wanting to go swimming out in the ocean when if I have friends who are like, "Hey, let's go." I'm like, "Nope, just go. I'll stand right here." Like a
And
little
you said that in that same recorded tape, it had Jaws 2 and 3.
Oh yes. So my dad, like I said, recorded these off of television. We didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have enough money to go get, go buy movies. When I did, I had a paper out, so I went to Suncoast Video. Do you remember that store? Suncoast Video.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I love that.
I went there and bought a VHS tape and so on. But my dad would record. He'd hook up his camcorder VCR thing to the TV. So when the show came on the TV, he would record it off there. Of course, we had commercials and all that. But that's how he saved money. Basically, you just record them for free off the TV. And so, yeah, on one blank VHS tape, depending on how long the movie is, you can fit up to about 2 or 3 movies. So he had Jaws 1, Jaws 2, and Jaws 3 on one VHS or one blank VHS tape.
Good thing it didn't have 4.
No, that deserves its own VHS tape, Kenny.
Right, yeah.
Part 4 deserves its own.
Right.
Yeah. Matthias says not a horror film, but Coraline scared me to
Coraline,
death.
yeah.
Coraline, okay. Coraline. That's the animated one, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
That girl who
yes,
I think it was her mom, and then she goes into their imaginative world.
Right. Okay. It's been so I need to revisit that one.
And then there was one part, I think, where they not her, but everyone else, I think, has buttons for eyes.
Oh, God. Some of these, I have to revisit some of these. Yeah. And so, this movie just, it affected me in that way. And God, let's see, how old was I? I was really young. I saw Cliffhanger in the movie theater, and I was really young seeing that, which is not a horror film, but I'm just saying. What's that?
One scene probably could be at the beginning.
Oh, when the lady falls to her death, yes.
Right.
Yeah, I can't say that didn't affect me, but yeah, it did. But I was really young. God, I don't, my mom, she's the type that she'll watch some horror films depending on what it is. But she always encouraged me. She's like, I don't want you watching this type of stuff. But my dad, he'd be like, hey, he's like, as long as you know that it's fake, it's not real. He's like, do you understand that? And I'd say, yeah.
And he's no like, nightmares.
Okay. Right. If I had a nightmare, it was mostly about probably Michael Myers more than anything. My cousin Dan, he always had, I think, dreams about Freddy. I never had dreams about Freddy, but which is odd if you think about it. You should have dreams about Freddy if he's about invading your nightmares. But
yeah,
there's something stalkerish about Michael Myers just standing there. That's to me more creepy. But yeah, so that's basically like the topic at hand here is your very first horror film and how did it affect you? Those of you in the chat, I think Matthias already said his, but if you guys want to list like your very first horror film you ever saw and how did it affect you, feel free to. That's what we're talking about today is like what really got us into horror, like what made us horror fans. I mean, I guess that's kind of different. What made you a horror fan versus your very first horror film? It's not like, to some people, it's not like if you watch your first horror film, then that automatically made you a horror fan. It's like maybe it takes a couple more to make you kind of, okay, I love the genre. But I don't know. Just for me, it's like Jaws did it. It did it. I was like, I love these type of films.
You still like that now, where you can't the ocean?
Let me tell you. I think it was last year. We went to. I'm not sure if you are familiar with the Gulf of Mexico at all, like with
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so, especially from the oil spill.
Oh, right. So we went to the Gulf of Mexico and we were I forgot which beach it was. It was really nice beach, and we went into the water. And of course, the Gulf of Mexico is pretty clear. I mean, it's when you go
Mm,
into that part of the ocean, you can actually see what you're stepping on.
mm,
Where we were, it was I think it was called Clearwater, which is down in Florida there.
mm.
And honestly, I felt like I was in the Bahamas. I was looking at the water; it was clear blue. I saw the sand. I saw everything. So I went out pretty far. Me and my boys went out, and we're sitting there, and the waves are coming up, and I'm just like, I still kind of felt, uneasy, but I was looking around. There's a whole bunch of people. I wasn't out there by myself, and so I'm like, okay. And so Logan and I are sitting there. We're kind of going up with the waves, and I saw these three fish just swim by us. They're like they're they're pretty good size, you know. They
Mhm.
just swam right in front of us, and I'm like, that could have been a shark.
Good.
But
Good.
like again, it's playing with your mind. In my mind, I'm just thinking of this, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking of. So that's how it affected me. And still to this day, yes, it does affect me that way. And like I said, even if I'm going in fresh water, a fresh body of water, and I can't see nothing, I'm still thinking in my mind, okay, there's a shark in here. But no, they don't live in fresh water. So, uh,
Here's physical media. He says, "Are you afraid of the dark?" That TV series, not a movie, but yeah, that one is another one that can be
oh, yes.
pretty
Well,
scary.
they did make a movie, I think, didn't they? Are You Afraid of the Dark? I think they did make a movie on that. But I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, probably not like that, but I think there was. Yes.
Yes. That's a good one. But again, like, we're all probably going to have different answers depending on what era you grew up in.
Mhm.
Um, I'm an 80s kid, so there were a lot of great classic uh, 80s films, um, while growing up in the 80s.
Mhm.
It was a good era. But um, I know, if you would ask this question to my dad, what was the very first horror film you ever saw and how did it affect you? He would say The Exorcist. And
The Exorcist, right?
yeah, till this day, he when he if you speak about The Exorcist, he's like, I don't want to see anybody's head turning all the way around. Okay, because that scene bothers him. Out of
Uh,
all the scenes in that movie, where she pukes and goes down the steps, and out of all the scenes, it's the head spinning. That's really what
I
he
think,
talks about.
yeah, I think the reason is because that's probably more abnormal than anything else that happens in that,
Yeah.
even with
Yes.
the creatures and the throwing up,
Right. Right.
because our heads don't do that.
Yes. Um. I was thinking of more topics to come up with when we do these. I was thinking like maybe one of the topic is like a horror movie that scared you to death, or one of the scariest horror films of all time. You know, those would be some good topics. But um,
Mhm.
yeah, with these streams, guys, we're just trying to keep it simple. We're not trying to like overdo it and go too long and stuff like that. We just want to basically, just talk about horror because, we're lovers of horror, and I have always been a lover of horror, like I said, since I was young. So, um, I don't know. I think there's just so much potential with horror. There's so many subgenres to it, and um, it's definitely an art form. That's for sure.
I was thinking of what lies beneath. The one thing that probably got me maybe not necessarily scared, but kind of startled me was out of everything else. I think it was when they would close the door. They know they closed it. Then when they walk through again, the door is open. For some reason, that startled the crap out of me.
Are you talking about when she goes to open the door and it's already open, or
No, when they would close it, walk away. Then when they walked back, the door was suddenly open.
Oh, right. Okay.
For some reason, that out of everything else, that
Well,
startled the
that's
heck out of me.
but listen, that is a what do you call it? A typical horror cliche. That's
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, with doors opening and closing, that's what happens in horror films. But
Yeah, it
again,
was just something that always, at that time, I had, oh, that was something that always startled me. Like,
there we go. Physical media collector says, when I was 12, I saw It from the 90s, and that was the first
yeah,
movie to give me.
mm,
Oh, you're not alone. You're not alone in that. A lot of people don't like clowns, so you know, but that movie, especially the one from the 90s, affected a lot of people. And I think
mm,
it was because of Tim Curry's performance, because his performance was legendary. I mean, it
yeah,
was nothing against what's his name, Bill Skarsgård. He had a lot of, he had shoes to fill. But Tim Curry, he did that role so well that he's just freaky. Like one of the freakiest scenes, I think, and he's not even in the clown makeup. It's when he's walking down the steps and he's like, he calls Stan into the building. He's like, Stan, Stan. And then Stan goes in there,
mm,
the door locks, and then all of a sudden you see it coming down the steps really
mm,
slow. And
yeah,
I did a spoof of that in my Rob's short film that I did, Pennywise Returns. When I'm walking down the
mm,
steps,
yeah,
I did that. I kind of mimicked the same thing. But
mm,
when he's coming down the steps, that was one of the freakiest parts, I think. And that's not even, like I said, he's not even in the full clown getup, but he didn't need to be. Uh,
mm. And it wasn't really meant. That was probably not meant to necessarily be scary, but it came across like that.
that's one of the, I tell you that, I think that was on the second part. That was one of the scariest scenes, in my opinion, on that TV miniseries. Um, but even, speaking of Tim Curry, look at what he did in the movie Legend when he was the Prince of
Mm,
Dark, or the yeah, what is the Lord of Darkness.
mm,
That makeup, he looked like a giant devil. He looked,
mm,
oh my
mm.
god,
Yeah, big horn.
crazy. Yeah, the big horns, and like he was all red and he had like sharp teeth, and man, that guy, Tim Curry, man.
And a lot of people don't really think or remember that Tom Cruise also is in that. And then,
Yes.
that kind of what is that? John Hughes actress Mia Sarah was in it. She
Yes.
was the girl.
Yep. Yep. Young actors in that one.
Mhm.
Landon, you give me my power cord for the laptop. It's on the other side. Um, so yes, you know what? Um, these movies are just, it's so fun talking about these. Like
Mhm.
I'm just really interested to hear what people's first picks are, like as far as like the first horror film they ever saw. Because if you're a horror fan in the horror community, um, obviously everyone's had their start, right? They've all had their start. They've all had their first film. So I'm just really curious on what that is. Um, but yeah, um, I'm not even sure. I know Dan couldn't make it to the stream, but I'm not really sure what his first film is as far as horror goes. I want to say it's one of the Friday the 13th films, but I could be wrong. I'm actually the one who got Dan into horror, so uh, he wasn't really into it until I started to show him stuff. So um, I didn't have a problem with clowns until I saw the movie It. I don't have a problem with clowns now. Yeah, thanks, bud. Yeah,
Mhm.
like honestly, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've really had a problem with clowns. I mean, there's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. You know, there's different movies with clowns, but like I never really was afraid of clowns. It's just Tim Curry's performance as Pennywise was, you know, I think that said it all, you know.
Mhm. Right. And
So
it's also not many people probably think of it. They're not. whole lot of horror films that do feature clowns. I mean, I know there are, but with how big that genre is, there isn't that many because
Um,
dress is like many people can't stand them. They're too scared of them.
there are a lot of clown horror movies, but they're the low budget independent horror films that no one
Mhm.
really knows about. And the mainstream ones, no, there's not really that many mainstream ones. I support independent horror. I like low budget independent horror films. I think a lot of them have potential. A lot of them are crappy, but that's because if they're low budget, they don't, they pick some of the crappiest actors, or maybe some of the actors and actresses are just starting out, so they're not good or they're not
Yeah.
as good. But still, you got to start someplace. So I feel like there's a charm with those films. I support them.
Mhm.
There are a lot of clown movies, or sorry, clown horror films out there that are low budget, independent, uh, that no one even. I have how many in my collection? I probably have like 25, maybe 35 horror films that have to do with clowns that no one even talks about.
Like
And
amusement.
right, amusement, exactly. That would actually be a fun video. You know what? You just gave me an idea for a video. Uh, my horror film collection that has to do with clowns.
Mhm.
That would be a good video. Show all the movies that I own that have to do with clowns. That
Yeah,
are horror.
because right now I could say I don't think I have any at this point.
Well,
I
there's
have a
that.
lot of films, but not really horror, never really clown horror films.
Well, there's that movie Clown. Have you seen that one where the clown suit gets stuck to him? He
I
puts
think
on the
I have.
he puts on the clown suit, and the clown he can't get it off because it's coming.
Mhm.
It's like it's becoming him. So he's like turning into like this devil or like demon clown, I guess. It's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
good. Pretty good movie.
Okay, I know a lot of kids had a problem with the episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark called Laughing in the Dark. I never had a problem with that episode. Clown is a good movie. I've only seen it once though. Yeah.
The episode called "Laughing in the Dark." Um, I think I've seen that one, but I really don't remember that one. But when it comes to Are You Afraid of the Dark, I mean, you know, I've probably seen most of the popular episodes, but I definitely don't remember that one. You know what? Now that you've said that, I'm gonna have to look that up and see if I can watch that.
Um,
Um, I'm just curious. Has anybody been affected by Jaws? Anybody watching this? Has anybody been affected by this movie or Poltergeist, the original Poltergeist? Because that was Kenny's pick. Because yeah, uh,
because I didn't care to see the recent Poltergeist.
oh the remake one.
Yeah, it did.
I've seen it, but it's been a while. I remember
Because I
it just be,
know you, I think in your video where you show movies that you own that you hate, I don't think you showed that one, but I know you said something about it.
I didn't really hate it. It was just unnecessary, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I still feel like people can get creeped out by the original. If not creeped out, they can still get the hell out of here, fly. Um, they can. Sorry, about to fly up my nose. Zebo the clown.
Oh, I'm
Oh, that was
guessing.
okay. So that was in the episode called "Laughing in the Dark." I guess. Okay.
I think I remember something about that.
hmm Well,
Let's see.
well, yeah.
Another one that I know I saw really early was that kind of a B movie, the stuff. about that. With
Yes, the
cream and
stuff.
ice cream.
Yes.
It
Yeah. That
was
is actually a hard I think that's actually a hard movie to get on physical media. Like it's really I think it's expensive actually.
yeah, people can get the DVD or Blu-ray.
Mhm. Oh, I remember that though. Um let's see. I'm trying to think of one that I saw on television halfway through. I remember I came home and I think it was Halloween 4. Yeah, it was Halloween 4 because it was where Michael had the shotgun. He took the shotgun from Brady. Brady was hitting him, and Michael took the shotgun like this and went like that and hit Brady in the face.
Mm,
Um, I remember seeing that for the first time. And then after that, I remember it was probably weeks later. I went to Suncoast Video and bought Halloween 4.
mhm.
So then I watched it all the way through.
Right. I love the movie, the stuff, and I have it on Blu-ray. Yeah, I
Oh,
figured
okay.
it was not too difficult to get.
Well, I wonder if they. Okay, so I wonder what company is it? Scream Factory that released it. I wonder if it's Scream Factory because if it is, I'm gonna have to get it. Because I honestly, maybe it's because I just never. Maybe I just forgot. I don't know. There's
Yeah,
so many
that's
horror.
one
There's so
that
many horror
is
films. I
that one is low budget for sure.
well, it's got an interesting. Oh yeah, it's Arrow. Okay,
Arrow,
I
right?
have
Yeah.
quite a few. I have like 16 releases of Arrow, so that's definitely going to be one that I have to get for sure. Because
Mm,
as Physical Media Collector 87 says there, I'm also a collector of physical media. So let's go physical media, support physical media.
yeah, because I got quite a bit too.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got a pretty good collection there.
And
But
then like when I did my video of my Star Wars home video collection, that was about an hour and a half long.
hmm yeah, your Star Wars collection is pretty good. Um for me, it's like I collect all the Arrow video stuff. I do Kino Lorber, I do Vestron, Scream Factory, of course, Shout Select, Vinegar Syndrome, just all that MVD Rewind, um, all that.
Yeah, I've not been able to uh, try and collect those. I get some quite a bit of Scream Factory, but not like the rest of them that you were mentioning. Not that I didn't want, haven't wanted to. I
Well,
haven't been able to afford it. I
oh, I'll
know
tell you.
it could
Yeah.
be. I know that it can be. It's not that expensive, but some can be.
Well, let me tell you, if you have a local Salvation Army or a local Goodwill, go to those and look. Like go every week because I'm telling you, at least the one I have, every week I go, I come out with a ton of stuff and every location is different. My location, my Goodwill location, every single Blu-ray, DVD, box set, whatever is $1. It's 99 cents. So
Mm,
you
right.
might find something that's sealed. You might find something that's out of print. You might find a Blu-ray that's like a special edition and you get it for 99 cents. Are you kidding me? That's like one of the best deals I've ever seen. You can't get that on eBay.
No.
So honestly, I'm telling you guys out there, if you have a Goodwill, go to your Goodwill. I mean, honestly, you will probably find something more than likely. I am watching the Underworld movies. Which one did I just I just watched one not too long ago. Oh, Underworld Evolution. That's the second movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's Underworld and there's Underworld Evolution. Then there's Rise of the Lycans, I think, which was not even Kate Beckinsale, was someone else,
Mhm.
right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then she returned in the third or fourth one.
Yeah, I think she returned in the fourth one. There was like Blood Wars or something, and there's like
Yeah.
I don't know which one was the final one. Was that Blood Wars? I can't remember. I think there's like 5 films. I think.
Mhm.
I can't say that I dislike really any of them. Even the third movie, I think that was okay. But I don't know. I really like Underworld Evolution. I thought that was good. Um, but anyway, yeah,
I,
the Jaws films. Everyone loves the fourth movie, right? Do you love the fourth movie, Kenny? Be honest.
I don't know if I've seen it all the way through, but I didn't like that one.
I don't blame
I've
you for not seeing it
I've
all the way
seen
through.
pieces.
Okay, I was right. Yeah, Blood Wars is the last one. Okay. Yes. That's the one that I need. I need Blood Wars. If I get Blood Wars, I have them all. So,
And you said about Jaws: The Revenge.
yes, Jaws the
Yeah, that's
Revenge
your
is the
favorite
best
one.
Jaws movie, right? It is the best. Let's be honest.
Right. No.
uh, that'll be a good topic for another stream when we talk about like maybe horror films that maybe we hate or maybe why are some of these horror films so bad, or we'll come up with something.
Right.
Jaws 4 would be a perfect opportunity for that. Can you believe that the first Jaws is PG?
Yeah, PG.
PG.
Weren't they all PG or
Yeah, I don't know. Not really sure. I haven't seen what Jaws 2 is. The
is
4K
either
box set.
PG or PG-13?
Wait, when you
Because
say
I
you
didn't
have the
think
wait, he says he has a 4K box. Oh, does that mean you have all the movies on 4K in just a box set, or is it just Underworld, the first one?
box set, so it must be
I know
all.
Walmart has the Blu-ray box set for all the Underworld films, and I thought about maybe getting that, but maybe not if they have a 4K. If they have a 4K one, I'll probably definitely pick that one up. I just want one with all the movies. I want one with, because like I said, I need Blood Wars. So
I like 4K, but I don't feel that it's not people don't really like it or collect it as much as Blu-ray because Blu-ray still has most of the market share of that high definition.
well, the problem is too is 4Ks can be expensive, and with today's economy, either buy groceries with high inflation or spend 30 some dollars for a 4K. Not every 4K is 30 some dollars. You can find some good deals with 4Ks,
Yeah,
but it's the market for them. I don't think is as high as, let's say. I mean, look, Walmart still has the $5 DVD bin. Okay, the big thing in the middle that you have to dig through, stick your hand down there, and you see what's down there. If they're
Mhm.
still selling $5 DVDs, obviously those are still in the market. It's all them on 4K. Okay, that's awesome.
Out of print.
Yeah, all of them in 4K. That'd be cool. I'm probably gonna get that. I'm gonna have to look into getting that because
It's something that I know I have that is out of print. I have that Transformers Matrix of Leadership big uh, set box thing where it opens at the sides.
I'll find it. It's got to be on eBay. I mean, obviously it will be, but I don't know.
Oh, you
I don't
mean
know how
that
much it's gonna be.
Underworld?
Yeah, if it's out of print, then yeah, it's probably gonna cost me an arm and a leg. Shit. But oh well.
Yeah, there's probably quite a few I have that is out of print, like the Tommy Knockers.
Oh, is that the DVD?
Yeah,
Yes, I have that one too. It's the
yeah,
double-sided disc, right? It's the
yeah.
double-sided. I love Tommy Knockers. What do you honestly think about Tommy Knockers? People crap
I've
on Tommy
always
Knockers.
I remember seeing that from an incredibly early age also
Yeah.
when it was first shown, and
Hmm.
I've always enjoyed it.
Me
Ev-
too.
Every time you talk about it, you talk about Tracy Lords.
Well, yeah, because we all know who Tracy Lords is and
Right,
where she
right,
came from. So
right. I have I liked what's his name, Jimmy Smits, and the actress who
Yes,
was his wife.
Marge Helgenberger. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, she was in
I
Species. And
always enjoyed that one. I
yeah,
know
Jimmy
something
Smits
that,
carried the film. Yeah,
huh?
I said Jimmy Smits pretty much carried that film. He was
Yeah,
really good.
it's true.
I like when he
And
fell out the window. He thinks it's a door. He's drunk and he's getting ready to leave, and he thinks it's a door, and he falls out the window. He goes, "Oh, oh!" And it's the
in
funniest thing
the,
when he hits the ground. He hits his head, and he's like, "Ugh," like
but I
I don't
think
know.
that with Stephen King, sometimes things like that are not meant to be funny turned out to be funny. Like
Yeah, I honestly, yeah, it's
quite a bit of that kind of thing happens in The Stand, the miniseries.
yeah. See, I was just talking about that. The Friday the 13th set is not out of print yet, the Scream Factory. And the thing is, I thought that set was going to go real quick when they first announced it. And then when it came up to, be ordered, I ordered mine and I'm like, watch, after a week, this thing is not even going to be available. But it never did that. Like it was always available.
But
So
the
it
thing
wasn't.
is, I think the part that isn't sold anymore, I think it was the one that had the poster. That I think
Oh,
that one isn't included anymore. That's the one that went
well,
incredibly quick.
I think people
I
had a
think it
problem
was
with those. People had a problem with the replacement discs too. There's some of them that needed replacement discs that you had to actually they sent them to you. But
mm,
I don't think they had that problem on the Halloween box set, did they? I don't even remember the
I don't
original
think
Halloween box
so.
set.
And when we were doing a stream last November, I had mentioned that. I think the bigger set has the theatrical and producer's cut of
It
the
does, yes, yes. See, I have the 10 disc set, and I'm fine with it. It is still Scream Factory. They don't all have their individual cases. That's fine. But I have the producer's cut of Halloween Curse of Michael Myers on Blu-ray. So it's fine. I have them all. So it's
Yeah,
all
and
right.
I know you do not like Halloween and Halloween 2, the later ones. Rob
Oh,
Zombie.
the Rob Zombie ones? No, I don't
But,
really.
I really wish that this recent time they were done, it should have stopped at 2018.
Halloween
Well,
Resurrection's on right now.
Halloween
Halloween Resurrection's playing
Resurrection.
on the TV right now as we speak.
hmm
Uh-huh. Yep.
I think there was a problem with one of the Halloween movies. Okay.
hmm You're right. I wasn't it Halloween 5 or was it I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I don't
It
know
was
what Halloween movie
probably
it was.
5, yeah.
But that set, again, I tried to get that set when it was up for ordering online. I went to go do it and I was too late. They were sold out and like they never, I don't know if they ever got it back in to actually order again, but you could go on eBay. Obviously, everyone was charging outrageous prices for it, but I don't
Well,
know.
Screen Factory can sometimes do that when you try to order directly from them.
Well, that's what I
It
mean, though.
is-
Like the Friday 13th never that box set never disappeared to where you couldn't get it anymore unless you went on eBay. But you could
mm,
still order it. It's just
yeah,
I don't know why. Maybe just people weren't. Maybe people didn't want that as bad as the Halloween one. But
I was lucky enough to get the 15 disc set on the eBay in
that's
2020.
cool.
Must be Halloween.
I want that set so bad. God, I want that set. I just can't afford it right now.
Yeah, it would take up a lot of shelf space too.
Well, my 10 disc one is signed by Tony Moran. So that's
And
my
he's still
profile. That's
alive now, right?
yeah, that's my profile pic on my YouTube channel is me and Tony
Mm.
Moran, and he I was so tall standing next to him, you know, knowing the fact that he actually put the Michael Myers mask on, like when he was, he's famous for Unmasked Michael, but there was a
Mhm.
moment when he tried to like put it on. I'm standing next to him, like, dude, Michael Myers is short. Like I tower over Tony Moran. Like I look down, I can see the top of his head. It's just he looked up at me and he goes, "You're one tall motherfucker." he's like, he's, that's what he
But
said.
like imagine you standing next to Tyler Mane.
Oh God, I'd probably still have to look up at him. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's huge. But
I'm
anyway,
glad that I'm glad that Rob Zombie did not do the remake of The Blob, and then he was supposed to do a Halloween 3D.
yeah, I think Rob Zombie does good in his own interpretation of like coming up with original type movies, like
Yeah,
the Firefly stuff, the Firefly trilogy. Lords of Salem was excellent. Those kind of movies, I think he should stick to instead of trying to do a franchise, um, and
the monsters.
making it his own. I haven't seen the Monsters, so I can't comment. I haven't seen it yet.
I didn't see that.
Do you
You,
like the Resident Evil movies?
I haven't
Um,
seen any of them.
the first, okay, quick story. The first Resident Evil I saw in the theater. Me and my cousin Dan were huge fans of the game. Right?
Mhm.
We played the first game on the PlayStation years ago. We played Resident Evil 2, played Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, played all the Resident Evil games. When they announced they were doing a live action Resident Evil movie, Dan and I were the first ones to get tickets. We went and I don't know, during the movie, I kept being like kind of pissed off that they weren't showing any of the characters from the game because none of them were really in there.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what? I'm like, man, like, come on. But I will say there are some really good moments in the original Resident Evil movie, with the zombies and the way they are infected, and when they go down to the hive and do all that stuff. There are some really good moments. So I can't really say that I hate the movie. I think the hallway with the laser stuff is really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say the movie could have been better. I think the it had potential,
Mhm.
and um, as far as the sequels go, uh, the second one, the second one is, I think, too campy. It has charm to it though. The third one is Extinction, which I really like. I really like the third one, and a lot of people don't like that one, but I
And
like
that
it.
was in 2007, I believe.
Right. So the third movie, I believe they say is like almost the weakest. I think there's a lot of people that say they really hate that one. It's almost
Mm.
like Mad Max mixed with Resident Evil. They're in the desert and all that stuff. They go to
Mhm.
Vegas and things like that. But that movie was actually really good. Um, then there's the other ones. There's Afterlife, there's Retribution, and then the final chapter, which I just think those are just all mindless action. I guess you could call them fun in ways, but let
Yeah.
me tell you this: the newest movie called Operation Raccoon City. Is that what it's called? I think it's
Raccoon
called it.
City, something like, yeah.
Yeah. The
And it
the
was
newest one,
animated, or was it live action?
it was live action.
Live action.
I love the CGI movies. Okay, so the newest live action one, a lot of people complained about it being too close to the game to where, they had the same looking outfits and like this and that. I thought it was actually a pretty cool movie. The only thing wrong is the casting. I think they got the casting wrong on Leon Kennedy. I thought they did him dirty. I did not like that actor. Um, I don't think it's as bad as people say. I need to watch it again, honestly, but I don't know. Overall, I don't think the Resident Evil series is I don't think it's a bad series. I just think we need something different. In my mind, I can make if I had all the money in the world and I could create my own company to where I could, get a good director and stuff like that and make my own movie, it would be a Resident Evil movie. And in my mind, I have it to where it's scary as hell. It'd be a survival horror movie. It wouldn't be action. It'd be survival horror. In my mind, I have it as a fan of Resident Evil. And I know a lot of other people. There's fan films. There's all the fan writings and books and all that stuff. I just think they have potential. They just need to dive into that potential of making a good Resident Evil horror film, not like an action film. That's what I want to see. So I don't know what anyone else wants to say. Hey Dale, what's up?
And I thought that was what this Raccoon City one was promoted to be scary.
It's kind of like the games.
And people complained about it being too close.
They complained about it being kind of like campy, like it's not. Like when a horror movie has a low budget, the acting, the set pieces, all that stuff just looks generic. The CGI looks bad, things like that. That's what they were kind of comparing it to. I don't think it had a bigger budget than the original Resident Evil with Mila Jovovich, but the original Resident Evil with Mila Jovovich, I think I want to say this, it's better than, I can't believe I'm saying it. It's better than the newest one, in my opinion. And that was my complaint. I was like, oh, how come they don't have any of the original characters? And here we have the newest movie with the original characters, but the way they did them, the way they wrote them in was ridiculous. So I don't know. I really don't know. It's such a twisted logic. I'm just like hitting myself. Like, you want one thing and then you get it, but it's not the right thing. It's like,
right. There is a good horror movie free on YouTube. The mean one is that Grinch horror one. Oh, okay, I remember that.
Yeah, the Grinch. That's another one I have not seen.
Was that? I don't know if it was the same people that did that Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
I don't know, but I saw Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I'm going to do a review on it. I actually liked it. I thought it was good. I know a lot of people hate it, but I think it's interesting. They're taking these like Disney or family characters and turning them into horror characters in a way.
Yeah, like recently Krampus. Not really Santa Claus, but Krampus, and then there's Violent Night with David.
Oh yeah, with David. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's not really scary one, but that was another twist because he was drunk,
right,
early on.
Hey, so Dale's in here. I was going to ask him, Dale, what was your very first horror film that you ever saw, and how did it affect you?
This is Dale Stark.
Let's talk about movies and stuff as Dale. Yes.
Oh, okay.
He changed his name.
Gotcha. I remember. The mean one is also on Blu-ray. Yeah.
Oh, it did get a Blu-ray release. Okay. Yeah. So I was trying to think of. There's that movie called Thanksgiving coming out next month. Actually, I mean, look, October's almost over already.
Mm-hmm. Probably have to say Chucky or Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
Yes.
So one of the Child's Plays or A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, that's a
good
one.
Yeah.
Imagine being small, like younger, watching Child's Play for the first time. that involves a kid with a Chucky doll. Like, you know,
Yeah, most parents probably would not allow a child to see that because
well,
of what it is and
do
then
you
what it has to deal with.
do you remember those My Buddies?
Yes.
You
I
remember those
never
dolls?
I don't think I ever had one, but I remember that.
I had one, and I took him everywhere. Because in the
Mhm.
commercial, it's like you can take him anywhere. You know, I took him to hotels. I took him everywhere, and just like a Chucky doll, like he had shoes you could put on, the overalls, the hair felt real, and yeah, that's
And the
I
head never
never.
turned the head never turned all the way around though, right?
I hope not. It didn't turn when I looked at him, but he may have. I don't know. But see, I never watched Child's Play that young, so
No.
I never looked at My Buddy as a killer doll. Thank God.
Yeah.
But it's just so weird though when I think about it. Like the way the
Right.
concept of the Chucky doll versus like the My Buddy doll. You know,
Mhm.
it's almost like the same thing.
Right.
But
So Chucky, Nightmare on Elm Street. The Nightmare on Elm Street that may have frightened me the most was maybe three. I don't
three
know.
frightened you the most?
That probably was, yeah, because there was more. That seemed like it dealt more with the the dream
It did, yeah.
world more than the previous two, and
Yes.
just something that always uh, unnerved me.
Yes. Very. Yeah. Three definitely deals with the dreams. For me, I want to say the second movie really kind of bothered me with the whole school bus thing in the beginning when
Mm,
Freddy's driving all crazy, in the school bus, and I don't know, it just brought me back to the days when you would go on the school bus to go to school. It's like, well, is Freddy driving today? I don't know, but yeah,
yeah,
it's there's stuff about the second movie that's kind of dark. Uh,
yeah. Like when you enter the bus, you wouldn't see Freddy, but then at some point it may change to Freddy. And
yeah, but see, I never had nightmares about Freddy. I never did. It was more about Michael than anything.
mm,
Like I said,
no,
there's something weird. Like, look, if I looked out this window, right, and I saw a guy just standing there looking at me in a mask or something, that's to me that's scarier than some guy invading your dreams.
yeah, because
I don't
Michael
know.
he doesn't say much of anything,
Right.
and he moves incredibly
Mhm.
slow, even slower than Jason Voorhees.
I agree with you, physical media, about yeah. I think the third one is I think it's better than the first. But I'm a huge supporter of the second movie.
Yeah,
I love the second movie, and people talk about the gay innuendos and all that stuff about the second movie, but that's not really to me a big deal. I think Freddy does a lot of cool things, like he kills a lot of those kids at the pool, and um, I don't know. I think Freddy's kind of darker in the second
and
film.
that tongue thing when
Yeah, where
he's
he,
girl
yeah, he's making out with Kim Myers, and then his tongue comes out.
is all
when
gray.
it does, when his tongue comes out, I start laughing because it is kind of funny. But oh man,
And then there's the one where I think since he was, I guess, done away with in the first film, he's using a physical body to try and get back into the real world in two.
he yes, hmm he's basically trying to get Jesse to kill for him, and then he's going to basically, it's like he's going to take over the body because that's what he
Mm,
says. He's like, "You got the body, I got the brain." So basically, Freddy's using him as like a puppet in a way. Um,
It
So
really seemed like even what they were when Freddy was trying to do that, he still somehow got killed off anyway at the end of two. So it was almost pointless
pretty much.
because then he came back anyway in three and the stupid way he was brought back in four.
Right.
In three, what was it? Oh, he he wasn't using anyone to get into the real world, but he was invading those young people's minds in the that mental hospital. Yeah, and I think that was what made why he was trying to get back into the world.
Right. Well, I think I'm going to end it here.
Yeah.
We've already been about an hour 10. So, um, again, we've gone over our topic, which is your very first horror film that you ever watched. And I want to thank all of you guys for coming in the chat and talking to us and letting us know your first horror film that you ever watched. So I think it's really interesting to hear because everyone's going to have different ones depending on when you were born and uh, all that stuff. So, like I said, this is going to be a weekend stream where every weekend we're going to talk about something different. And also, I said this too. That anybody who wants to come on to the stream, and I'm not talking about the chat, I'm talking about actually come on the panel, can do so. We'll start that next weekend. If you feel like you want to come up, come on the panel, let me know. And yeah, it should be pretty fun. So I'll let you guys know the topic for next weekend, um, and we'll go from there. So, anything else you want to say, Kenny?
I think I said all that I wanted to say. Like you, I can't think
Yeah,
of anything else.
you got flies at your house too?
No, it was just that was just
I saw you go like this. I'm like,
I don't know what it was, but it
is
was.
the
It was
Amityville horror happening at your house right now?
no,
Okay,
you
that's
had
good.
one flying around you the whole time. That was the
Yeah.
first time I saw one.
Well, I'm not a preacher on the toilet, so I'm all right. Okay. Well, I want to thank everyone for coming in. Dale, physical media collector, also had
Matthias.
Matthias Juarez. Thank you very much, and stay tuned for this coming weekend. And
All right.
this is Rob's Horror Hangout, and we will see you guys next time. I did the Obi-Wan thing.
Yeah. Right. Right. Later.